Hey there, this is Eric from Dust Haven. It's my dog who just walked into the frame. What's up, buddy? Get out here. So normally when I make videos, you might not know this, but I actually try to make them not terrible. Like a tripod, got some editing software, stuff like that. But I have like 100 subscribers, so nobody's, I'm not getting any free beers from my YouTube channel. Let's put it like that. But there was somebody who wanted to talk about making steps on a creekside, and I happen to have a very steep creekside. So I just wanted to show some of that information because one thing I've just loved about YouTube, for as much stupid stuff is on YouTube, there's actually a lot of really valuable stuff. So let me show you two ways to do it, right? So the first way is basically just have a bunch of heavy stones. So I don't know if you can see it, but these stones, like, this is my hand for contrast, right? So these stones are like, that's probably, I don't know, like 100 or 200 pounds, maybe, I don't know, around there. It's heavy. You wouldn't just trivially lift it up. I think some of these, if I can kind of pan into the whole thing here, some of these were placed in with a loader, but I actually think most of them were placed in just kind of with brute force, right? Kind of going out of that way. So that's one way to do it. And they're flat, right? So they're actually like flat, and they may look really like janky and terrible, but they're not actually that bad at all. Like, again, if you kind of look at my hand for contrast, you can see like the height between them is not that significant. So they look kind of cool, and that's what I wanted, right? That's how I wanted to pull it off. But I'm going to go show you another set, which is done differently. And it's over there. So I'm going to go, but I'm not going to go because for you, it'll be like that. Okay, so now we're looking across a creek. So that's across the creek, and then if I look down, that's down. So this is like, it's hard to tell steepness, but it's steep enough that if you take a rock, it'll just roll and keep going, right? It's quite steep, quite gnarly, and very slippery stuff. So I want to show you kind of how I solve this. And then we'll get into the commentary, but I'll go right into the meat of it. So I'm actually walking on the steps right now. You can probably see them starting to take shape a little bit, right? So there's a foot, there's a foot, there's a foot, there's some feet. You're like, great video work, Eric. So let me show you what's going on here. So what I did, thanks dog, is it's really super stupid and simple, is I drove in some rebar and then I put a big rock in front of it. But what you want to do is, like, ideally you want to have kind of a flat rock. So again, for kind of scale, like that's my hand right there. So you want to have like a flat rock that's big enough to catch a foot, and then actually kind of put stuff behind it. And the idea is that this rock, more so than being the step, is that's the step back there, is they become like little miniature retaining walls, and the flat stuff above it is actually where you're going to put your foot. And then this functions like a retaining wall. So is this like, and you can see, like, if you kind of look up, you can see like a whole bunch of them, right? Here's the reason I did it. So here's what's going on, is that the rebar basically will last kind of forever, right? Or not forever. In my climate, it's going to last a long time. Like these have been here for a year, and there's almost no rust on them because I live in an arid, dry place. The rock obviously is going to last for damn near forever, certainly forever as far as my age and your age is concerned. And if like the rebar goes bad, then I can just go and like put another piece of rebar in, right? Like that's it. It's not a real big thing. So a lot of people are probably saying, well, Eric, those suck. Those are not stairs or steps at all. You're right. That's why I call them footholds, right? Because they're not that. But what they are is they are a hell of a lot better than loose dirt and loose rocks that you're going to slide out and get wiped out on. So I think if you look at it from like a builder perspective, they're terrible, right? No builder is going to build something like this for you. But if you're someone who walks around in the mountains, if you're someone who's used to backpacking and hiking or something like that, if you were to find yourself on a cross-country trail and you found a set of these, you would be stoked, right? You would be like, heck yeah, bro, because this is way better than just bushwhacking it like up some stuff. And then the other thing I'd say too is that if you actually, and like for me, I'm still fortunately currently nimble enough that I can do this, right? But we're all one injury away from needing a cane, or not, or no matter what, you're just not going to be as nimble when you're 90 years old as when you're 30 or 20 or 40 or whatever. So eventually this isn't going to work. Totally fair. But one thing it is going to be really cool is if you have something like this, and this, by the way, all of these for about a maybe 100-foot distance along the ground, took me 2 days to do, and it cost, I think, like $100 in rebar, and the rocks were all free. They're all here because I live in a rocky place. So from a materials perspective, it was almost literally dirt cheap. There's no way you're going to get close to $100 if you were to build these out of wood. And it's also like maintenance free, right? So I get that going for me. But the other one is that when I decide, hey, you know what? I'm just not as nimble as I want to be, man. I got to put something in here that's a little bit better. Conveniently enough, it's going to be a hell of a lot easier to do that work, to like come down this hillside and to put the anchors in for like a proper built out, actual stairs, not just footholds, with these footholds here, right? Because if you want to build the right thing, well, guess what? You still have to work on this janky, slippery ass hillside, and like you're going to be looking for places to park your feet and set tools down and things like that as you're working. So I guess that's what I'd say is that like, is this like the right way to do it from like a builder perspective? Absolutely not. There's some ADA guy out there that rightfully just barfed in his mouth when he saw these things. But I live in an area without building codes, and I knew what I was doing. I knew what I was getting out of it. And again, if you go from like nothing to these, is pretty damn good. And it didn't really cost a lot of money, and they're going to be here forever. And it's going to help me if I want to do something else in the future. So that's it. There's probably like 5 people on the internet that'll be like, cool. And like 500 will be like, bad, but whatever. So for the person who was just saying, hey, I'm interested to get down to my creekside, check it out. You could certainly do worse, and I bet you could do a lot better too. So feel free to let me know what you come up with, and yeah, so that's it. Anyway, it's Eric, Dusthaven. Do good stuff that you can be proud of, or build these stairs, I guess, footholds. All right, see you guys, bye.